Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a video here to talk about social media and how awful it is nowadays. When I was growing up, people started really kicking off my generation on the internet with things like MySpace. Before I even had my own laptop, I had a MySpace account because all of my friends and I made them at school on the school computer lab stuff when we weren't supposed to. And, my mom set me up to it at the house on her computer and had everything set. You could do the whole custom background account thing from sketchy ass websites like we all used to do with MySpace pages. And it was always considered cooler because you couldn't do stuff like that with Facebook. You couldn't set like a song for your profile like you could on MySpace. And in hindsight, MySpace wasn't the greatest, and it's been dead for a long time. I know it was bought out, I think, by Facebook. God bless Mr. Tom from back in the day. But, Facebook has been kind of off and on over the years. For some reason, even though it was considered the hub of old people when I was a teenager, now, or for a while there, it kind of became the place everybody went. And especially with my generation before I even graduated high school. And now it's went back to the place for old people. Have you noticed that? But this isn't just about Facebook. This is about social media in general, and it's kind of something I wanted to make as an encouragement to maybe a lot of you, and maybe a lot of you younger people than me out there, but also to just anybody on how much better your life would be if you got away from social media, period. I don't care if it's Instagram, I don't care if it's Facebook, TikTok, whatever. And I'm kind of a hypocrite at the same time because we act like YouTube isn't a social media platform. We act like Goodreads, which I also use sometimes, very much in phases, like for a little bit, and then I go like 2 years not using it, but I also use it to log things I've read. We act like things like YouTube and Goodreads are not social media, but they really kind of are, to be honest. But the thing is that fakery can still be there. The same fakery you see from things like Facebook and Reddit and so on and so on. And I kind of consider Reddit to be social media too. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. Because of the karma farming types and all the bots, the same problems that everywhere else has. But I guess the biggest issues I have with social media are the usual things people say. But I quit a while back, and I still use Facebook here and there. I mostly use it to talk to friends of mine through, private messaging, I may sell something on Marketplace here and there, and I'll talk to, different people who are interested in a product that I'm selling from that. And I don't do that very often. I haven't actually sold anything in a while. The only stuff I was selling were things that were super niche that you would never think would make money, but they did. Anything popular totally doesn't sell on Facebook Marketplace right now. Maybe it's an economic thing. I don't know. But anyway, so with social media, it was too much back then and it's too much now. From the foundation of this thing, when it became so big with MySpace and Facebook once upon a time, you didn't need to know everything every person you knew was thinking, or believed, or anything. And I say that as someone who also has made the mistake of posting too much about their life on things like Facebook to their friends and family, not even to strangers here on YouTube with your opinions or anything like that. We've all made this mistake, I think, at some point, except for the smartest of us. And your data's been sold and stuff over the years because of these different apps and websites and stuff. At the same time, social media has also kind of killed websites. And when I say that, I mean also platforms like YouTube. They've killed websites. And the only ones who really succeed are competitors to YouTube, which you could argue on how effective those competitors are, like Rumble and BitChute. But outside of that, YouTube and everything, Facebook, all of them, they've basically killed websites. And I wanted to make a video at some point about how websites are dead, but what's the point? I might as well just say it here. Websites are dead. I try to look up into forums and stuff, and maybe I'll find one here and there for Bible talk, with other Christians and stuff about what their favorite version of the Bible is, or translation, to English. Those kinds of conversations you can still find in forums. It's kind of hard to find anything video game-wise or movie-wise. Maybe you'll find them here and there. A lot of people go over to things like Discord, but I'm not really a fan of Discord, even though I used to kind of talk to some friends on there. Once again, another kind of social media platform, but just without thought posts. The problem is you're posting things to your, a lot of the time, complete strangers in a community that you happen to be a part of. And even that isn't the best. And I'm not saying because they'll use it against you. I'm not saying that at all. I've never had that happen to me, thank God. But just in the sense of, I feel like those conversations are so fickle and passing with the wind. In the sense of, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the way regular social media did to me. But it's all kind of dull. The older I've gotten, the less impressive social media is. And again, knowing everything that everyone thinks, whether it be from these YouTube videos from yours truly, whether it be from Facebook posts or something, it's just too much, and we didn't ever need to know that shit. You know? There's that old saying, you hear it all the time, I forgot who said it, but it was a historical quote saying something along the lines of like, it's better to have everyone in the room assume that you're stupid rather than open your mouth and prove it. You know, I got the quote a little bit too rounded up and summarized, but I'm pretty sure that's basically the wording of it. And it's pretty true, and I think social media, as the social experiment across the world that it was, has proven that. It's done more harm to the human race than I think anybody has ever assumed. And the thing is, for example, like with me, I'm a Christian, I talk about this. It is such a tool that could be used if it was not infiltrated with nothing but bots nowadays, with the dead internet theory and stuff being more and more likely. It could be used so well to bring the gospel of God, of Christ, to people to get them saved, especially your friends and family. The problem is even that's been scrambled now. Unless they're constantly looking at your like Facebook page, for example, or watching all your YouTube videos or something like that, whatever you do, however you do that attempt to preach the gospel or share Christian videos or whatever, unless they're following your page directly, that algorithm from Facebook specifically is never going to show them what you posted. It shows things out of order. That was the first thing it used to do, and every once in a while you would see a page you didn't follow. And I remember I went for like a year or two and didn't use Facebook almost at all aside from Messenger. And I just had this phase where I just didn't really talk to anybody through Facebook a couple of years back. When I finally signed back onto Facebook after that long break, that unintentional break, I got on there and I looked at my feed, and I think 90% of the pages that were, or 90% of the posts that I was looking at were not even from pages I followed because they had the little blue area that said follow in blue lettering, and I was like, what the hell? Facebook is impossible now. Unless you're checking up on people you know, you can't see anything they're posting, like just in your feed, in order. And I've tried to look at options to see if you can adjust that, and again, I'm not the best with computers. But with apps, they're usually simplified where you can do that. I don't know about on the website itself, like on a computer. On the app, no, that's not the case anymore. And it's usually junk. But if we were using things like social media more to bring others to Christ, or in my case, trying to do that, but also review products, especially for the nerd culture that I'm a part of, and all the different channels I review on, trying to use those things to also help someone understand whether they, with their taste compared to your taste and what they appreciate or don't appreciate from you, what they should spend their money on is really the goal that I have out there. And also just talking about things, because I like to talk, man. And it's not that you need to know every thought of every hot take I have out there, but when it comes to like a video game or a movie or something, that can be fun. And I feel like that's a lot different compared to social media where you got on there and talk about whatever your cat puked up at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? There's just a certain amount of info out there that people don't need to know, man. You know? Or what your kid did at school and stuff. Posting pictures of your kids when they're real young especially. That's not a good idea. Especially the kind of hostile, insane, crime-ridden world we live in now. No. Don't do that. You're endangering your kids' welfare. So anyway, and then you get to like the parts of like Facebook, for example, and Reddit's like this too, but you know, the whole internet's become this since the release of AI a couple of years. AI posts are absolutely shockingly everywhere I go. And I don't even hate AI like a lot of people do. I hate what it's probably going to impact culture so negatively with, and how much it's harming a lot of the industry. Like, you look at HR departments now, it's basically doing the job that HR people just didn't do or pretended to do. It's killing off that department now, mostly. And it's horrifying in that respect, but at the same time, like, it's being used because it's so cheap in the cost of using that. Everywhere you go, everything is made with AI now. Everything. And I mean specifically with social media. I cannot believe how many posts on Facebook I see all the time, not even just shared from people, because again, 90% of my feed are pages that I follow, or that I don't follow, that I don't even know I've never followed before. Just AI junk all the time. And the sloppiest AI too. It's not even well done stuff or used for, again, like a Bible purpose or something. It's not even like that. It's just terrible looking crap. Remember, like, when the worst of Photoshop would happen, or when people would make memes out of drawing like stick figures, and how no one really liked that, even if the meme was kind of funny. No one really dug that. It was lazy, and it was, and I'm talking from the guy who makes videos with audio and a picture on the screen, and no editing on top of that. That was just not appealing whatsoever. And the more I see these things, the more it kills Facebook for me. And a lot of friends I've kind of lost contact with more and more. I don't know. I feel like Facebook I'll probably drop entirely here soon. It's good for, like, birthday reminders for family members, because if you get busy and you don't write things down for, like, calendar stuff like I do most of the time, and it's not like a close family member that you remember their birthday and stuff all the time, like my wife, for example, or my mom, that kind of thing can become a helpful tool in that respect, but then you gotta check it all the time, and then you see stupid shit all the time. I don't know, social media is such a shame, man. And like the bots thing, this kind of goes along with the AI thing, it might as well be the same thing. But the bots thing, it is so clear that all of these websites, whether it be YouTube, whether it be TikTok especially in my opinion, whether it be BitChute, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, you have bots flooded onto these websites. You will have videos on YouTube that have hundreds of thousands of views and will have like 10 comments in the comments section. I understand a lot of people are like me and listen to more videos at home, or not at home, at work, so you don't have time to comment unless you remember to go back and comment, and I'm really guilty of this. I used to be a lot better about this, but I'm really guilty of this now and not commenting on my friends' videos when they post it. Because I try to support them, and I try to support smaller channels and stuff too, and let them know, hey, keep going, you're doing a great job, God bless you. Because that matters. That matters in the communities that I'm a part of. And that matters in the grand scheme of any of these things we all do on YouTube. But it's sad because the bot thing is such a problem, and you can tell heavily nowadays who bought bots for their channel and who didn't. You can tell by interaction's sake who did and who didn't. You can see the artificial inflation on channels of who did and who didn't. And it's everywhere, man. And it's absolutely foul. It's disgusting and it's terrible. And it pisses me off because it feels like even the people who mean well, who do that, assuming that it will help grow their channel, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it's also in the place, too, this fakery I referenced earlier. There's this fakery that's happening now. Not only with the bots thing and websites trying to make their investors think they have more engagement than they actually do. I mean, you go to Reddit, somebody posts something, and this page will be spammed everywhere from a subreddit like Sips Tea or memes or whatever. And they'll have like 60,000 likes, you know, and then you look at the comments and it's fucking jargon. Some of them are clearly bot comments where it's repeated over and over again from different accounts that have never had a past history. You'll get in an argument with people. You'll look at their history on Reddit, and because I do that, everybody does that. You'll look at it, and there's nothing there except for the time they argued with you, because it's not a real person. But getting back to the fakery thing, there are people I know in my everyday life that in their photos on Facebook or on whatever, I don't even have Instagram, but my wife might show me something from that, they will be smiling the biggest smile, and they'll put on this act to look super friendly and sweet. And then if you knew them in person, like I do, because I've been around some of these people my whole life, if you had seen how snarky and awful and mean and hateful they are, even to their parents, you'd be dumbfounded. You would be shocked with how they actually act in person. But their social media would totally fool you into thinking they're a nice person. It totally would. It's disgusting. It pisses me off and sickens me as much as some people I know who, kind of going back to the Christianity thing, there are people I know, especially older people that I know, that have quote-unquote been a Christian all their life and quote-unquote have been in the church all their life, which, by the way, for anybody who's new to the faith or doesn't know, maybe you're not a Christian, neither of those things can be true. Your parents may have taken you to church all your life. That doesn't mean you were a Christian all your life. And there's a difference, trust me, and you can tell when you meet these types. And yet these types of Christians, young or old, they can be the most gossipy, awful, sneaky sons of bitches you've ever met in your life. And you know that they make God angry, but they don't know that because they're so arrogant. That's what you're dealing with this kind of fakery on social media. People put up the best parts of their life and the fakest parts of their life on social media to make you think they're not only happier than they actually are in real life, usually they're depressed egomaniacs that, and this goes for me too, in the past, not so much nowadays, the last 6 years or so, but I'm talking like on social media, like, again, like a Facebook type of thing. They are so not what they pretend to be on camera, or, well, you know what I mean, like pictures and all that. They're so not like that it would shock you if you actually knew the contrary. And if that's the case with those people, imagine what it's like with like politicians and stuff, you know what I mean? My point is, with this, in social media, be careful who you follow when it comes to like TikTok and YouTube and even other places like news sources, especially like Fox, CNN, all those companies that are super, super dangerous and just want your engagement and time and your data on top of that. Be careful who you follow. You know, follow God first. He's going to teach you everything in truth. Read his Bible. He will teach you in truth. Matter of fact, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. You follow Christ, you'll get nothing but the truth. You follow mankind, and with this case, the internet created by mankind, you're going to get so much fakery more now than ever because of bot infestation and everything else. Social media is dead. Don't waste your time. Don't even be a part of it. It's just going to make you miserable. And a lot of it's there to make you angry, again, with politics and whatnot. No matter what side you're on, I think it is more likely because of my personal experience when I stopped using social media so much, that the more you ingest things that deliberately are, whether it be a doom type of thing or whether it be, I don't know, look what this politician over here is doing or that politician on either left or right side here in America or other countries for that matter, that stuff is going to make you more angry, and you were not designed by God to live like that. You weren't. It's not healthy for you, mentally or otherwise. So just kind of get away from it. Try your best to get away from it. I promise you, if you gave it like a week off from social media, not posting anything, not reading anything, not doom scrolling, I promise you, try it out. You will feel better. I've known people that I've recommended this to because people gave me grief for a long time in my personal life about why I wouldn't use TikTok. I have one now to support my wife when she posts here and there, but she doesn't do it very often. But I didn't have one for years. I literally just got one like last summer because she started making some videos. And, the Chinese have my data now. But outside of that, I feel so much better. And I feel like even in my videos here or on my horror channel and stuff, I feel like that you can look at me, or hear me in this case, and feel that I am happier now than I have been probably last decade, like 10 years ago. Because I was so sucked into social media back then versus now, that I just feel better. Yeah, I'm not healthier in the sense of like physically, But mentally and everything, I just feel better. God has been very good to me, very merciful to me in that respect. And I would recommend that to all of you. Just take a break. Take a break from it. Relax. Realize, and the phrase is go touch grass, everybody likes to say. But try that out. You know, I'm not saying you have to go out hiking and go on a walk and stuff. But I'll tell you too, even when I've taken breaks in the past, like this past Christmas when I got sick so much for like a month and a half, I talked to you guys about, before I came back here making videos, gotta say, even though I felt like dirt, it's kind of nice not playing a game or watching a movie or a show and feeling obligated to either finish that thing or to sit through it, wasting my life day to day on something that I'm not enjoying, you know? And I've gotten better about like just quitting things. I don't have to review everything. I don't have to review things that don't appeal to me or something that loses steam and gets awful in like later seasons of a TV show. You don't have to finish everything to be able to make reviews for it. I think that general impressions can kind of help with that, I think, personally, in my opinion. But I've really done a number about not having to sit there and critique and pull apart something so heavily, and just being able to sit down and actually enjoy something and take it in for what it is. Not with a critical eye, just a fun time. Am I enjoying this mentality? And that has no joke. It feels like when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, before I even started doing YouTube, and I could just enjoy stuff. And if something's bad, like obviously I'm going to critique the hell out of it for you guys or on my other channels or whatever. But like with YouTube, making the effort, and I'm not trying to divulge into a whole nother subject that has nothing to do with the general video, but taking the time to really only review content that I want to talk about. Stuff that I'm excited to watch, especially with my horror channel, where like I'm not just picking out something because it came out and people hated it or something. Maybe it's something that I actually hope maybe I'll like and everybody else, despite their hate for it. Maybe they're wrong in my case. I don't know. But I like to give things a chance and the benefit of the doubt. If it's something I was originally interested in or excited about, and that's been nice too. That's been very freeing, because then I can come to something honestly, with no expectations, aside from maybe some excitement, maybe some curiosity, maybe some weariness, but an interest nonetheless. And it's hard to like go back and watch movie series and stuff that have entries that you hate, but you want to cover the whole series for your channel. But I'm telling you, when it comes to other content, it has been so refreshing to just live my life. If I want to watch Batman the Animated Series today, I can do that. If I want to watch Spider-Man, if I want to watch the Star Wars trilogies that I grew up with, the original and the prequels, today, then I can just do that and have a good time and enjoy it and be able to enjoy my life a little bit. And I ask you, if you haven't been doing that, especially if you're a YouTuber, try that out. I think to get away from social media and to get away from the constant focus with, again, YouTube criticism, to get away from that and just enjoy your life, it is so freeing. It is such a blessing, and you don't even realize you've been missing out on it for so many years because of doom scrolling, because of trying to be, I don't know what I'm really trying to say here, but just the focus on too much focus. You know what I mean? It's kind of nice to just let your brain relax every once in a while with a good book or a good comic in our cases here on the channel, and a good show, a good movie, a good game. It's a good thing, Social media's done more damage. You should quit it, is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't fall for influencer bait. Don't believe everything you read or see. Or hear, for that matter, with the videos and TikTok scrolling shorts and junk. And on top of that, do good. Do good for God, especially if you're a believer like me. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. I'm sorry for such a long, rambly-ass video, but I've been wanting to really cover social media, its downfall, how bad it's gotten. Have any of you quit social media, or are you like me and kind of secluded it just to making content for like a YouTube thing? I would love to hear your thoughts down below, guys. I would just love to hear your recommendations, your stories. Did it make you feel better too to get away from a lot of this stuff? I have friends who made really good YouTube videos, by the way. One in particular, his nickname was Monster Blood. His real name is Austin. Love that guy. Really, really good content creator. He was a friend of mine in the Goosebumps community, and he would review Goosebumps and some other stuff too. Dude was so down to earth and genuine. I love that guy. And he just one day just decided to quit doing it because he felt the same way I was talking about just the content, the constant feel to pressure yourself, even though he was a heavy reader. He read more books than I ever read in my lifetime, in 1 year for his lifetime, probably. And the dude was so intelligent, and he just realized at one point he wasn't having fun with that anymore. And he stepped away from it entirely, at least for now. I think he'll come back, but he stepped away. Try that out if you guys are having that struggle. And again, Austin, if you're watching this, put down in the comments what made you do that, what you feel like now. I'd love to hear all that down below too. This is something I hope the younger generation hear at some point, because I think it's vital for the survival of mankind at this point. But it's vital for you and your mental health. And I'm not even one of those idiots that constantly talk about mental health. I get so annoyed with that. But it's a real thing, but at the same time, it's something that people don't realize what would help that. What the difference is from when you were a kid or a teen versus when social media and the internet really, really took over your life. People don't think about that part because the internet's a good tool, or at least it used to be. And a lot of things like paying bills are done digitally now. So people don't realize how little they actually needed this and how little they actually used it back in the day. So anyway, I'm done talking. I'm sorry for rambling so much. God bless you guys. Have a good one. Put your thoughts and stories down below. And catch you later. God bless you again. Goodbye.